Malik Nabors. Because that's the big news. We knew this pretty much going into today that chances are we're going to get the news that he does have a torn ACL, would be out for the year. And guess what came out today? He does have a torn ACL. He will be out for the year. So unfortunately, we are dealing with that issue there specifically. But it's a sad thing, but we kind of have to. And you look at the statement from Brian Daboll after the game, and he kind of gave the next man up speech, and I'm kind of like, wow, like it almost like you almost sound like the boss that doesn't give a damn about your employees at that point. You know what I mean? Like, well, he's next. Let's hire someone else. Like, that's kind of the mentality. Like, but you have to have that. You have to have that in these kind of scenarios because it's not going to get better. It's not like all of a sudden you're to turn around and he's going to walk through the door again and start playing. So, you kind of have to have that conversation of like, what do we do now that he's gone? And there's a whole laundry list of people that are being mentioned out there. Like ridiculous laundry list of people.
Yeah, listen, I heard Tyreek Hill, but I guess just after what just happened, that's probably not going to happen.
So Tyreek Hill, I didn't put on the list even for us, to be very frank, because I think that's so insane. It's not even funny. Not to mention,
I think it's insane.
As a Giants fan, I want nothing to do with Tyreek Hill. I've never been a fan of him.
Listen, I was a fan of him. He hasn't played the same in the past year, season, that whatever now, but he also got caught off the field.
Oh, did he?
So yeah, I don't know what happened, but I just know he got caught off the field.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I don't wish bad upon the guy. I don't want to take it that far. Made me feel like a jerk now for saying I like the guy. But
yeah, nope. You want to talk about the torn ACL? That dude just twisted his knee and his foot behind his.
He says he broke his
butt.
Anyway, we'll get off the Tyreek Hill thing. Let's talk about the options people are talking about. But the very first one, we got to get out of the way. And let me just tell you guys right now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And that's Odell Beckham Jr. Because every single time lately the Giants need a receiver, let's go back to the OBJ well. Listen, that well ran dry years ago. And don't get me wrong, he would do it. He'd probably do it for a minimum deal.
Just for his ego, but it's not going to happen.
On the field, and it's like, this is the one place he can go, and people will just worship him as he comes out of the tunnel there, so to speak. Because there's this segment of Giants fans that think this guy walks on water still. It's a scenario where, listen, I appreciate all the work he put in for us when he was a Giant. I really do. I don't want to seem like we're bitter about that kind of stuff, but he had a lot of maturity issues. He left the Giants. He has not shown any reason for us to believe his maturity issues have been fixed.
I think there's some room there, but it's not
listen. He literally got asked by the Dolphins for not being used enough last year that nobody else picked him up.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but I think that's. I don't think that's game. I think that's game planning, not maturity. He's too injury prone. He's getting up there in age, and he's slowing down the step. What made him special was he's faster than everyone else. He had that length where he was very mobile. And you know what? You have 3 knee surgeries, and you had all these problems where you had to miss season because of attitude issues. He got humbled by knee injuries and being kicked to the side because he was, lack of better terms, a jerk off.
I don't think humbled and OBJ go together. I just don't think they go.
I don't think he's humble. I think he was humbled. There's a difference. Not necessarily that he's a better person, but he's not so much of an a-hole.
I don't think he's necessarily an a-hole. I think he's just immature. I really think that with him. That's what I again, I don't know the guy personally, so I don't want to say okay, that's what's going on. It's just that's the vibe I get from him. But like I said, there's nothing left in the tank. He's up there in age. I don't see the potential why you would want to go ahead and bring him in, to be very frank. Next up, a very popular name in this. It's much more realistic, and that's Lil'Jordan Humphrey, who obviously was with us during the training camp there, is on the practice squad currently. And he also is a guy that gives a different type of receiver for this team. And that's what I liked about him as a potential guy to add, because we don't really have any big targets. And this is a team that's obviously struggling in the red zone. So getting a big receiver like that would be a good move. Now, is Humphreys a good player? No, that's why he's on the practice squad. And that's the one bit of hesitation I'm going to give you. But what kind of good player are you expecting to get at the end of September?
Not really anyone.
Yeah. Like, I don't.
It's slim pickings.
Yeah, I don't know who you would be, looking for at that point. So, only way to do it is a trade. And the one guy that everybody talks about as far as trade wise is on the Raiders right now, and that's Jacoby Myers, who, for those of you who have been listening for a few years, know that I was like point blank saying 2 years ago when he was a free agent that we should have signed him, or 3 years ago, I think it's been now. But for whatever reason, the Giants were interested. Guy broke 1,000 yards last year. He's on pace to do it again. He's got 258 yards so far in 4 games. He's a good player. Is he a great player? A player? No, he's a B player. You know what I mean? Like, he's better than anybody we have right now. But he's not, exactly a great, amazing player at this point. I just don't know what they'd want for him. And he'd be a guy I'd be kind of interested in potentially. But here's also the problem you run into. Let's say you go get a guy like Jacoby Myers. Let's just, throw it out there. If you go ahead and get a guy like Jacoby Myers, or I see you guys in the comments, Chris Olave, we will talk about him in a moment too. Either one of those guys, because you can bunch these together, guys you have to trade for. Say goodbye to Wan'Dale Robinson next year. And that's just one of those, you have to think about that in the process, because you're already paying money to Slayton. You got, obviously, Malik Nabors still on a rookie deal, but it's a rookie deal that's a first-round pick rookie deal. And now you got a guy that you're going to have to pay on top of that, potentially. It's a lot of money to be putting in receivers.
Yeah, and listen, Wan'Dale, he's not going to get the biggest contract out there. No. Stay with the Giants, but if you're going to pick up Myers, how much is he getting paid now? Because the trade, you got to pick up his salary.
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now. I had a feeling you're going to ask. So he signed a 3-year, $33 million contract. So he's got, let's see here. So 25. His cap number, let's see here. You see, we're just going to go to salary specifically here for you. His salary is $10.5 million, but you're only paying the balance of that, and then you have to look about what you're doing going forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're looking at 4 games, so it's still a hefty part of the year.
Yeah, so
you're still looking at $8 million probably.
So, I mean, they'll save some money, so they'll want to do it. But again, what are you going to give up? You want to give up draft picks for a young rebuilding team to get a guy that you basically need because your guy hurt himself for 1 year?
Yeah, the young guy to pick up Jacoby Myers is not quite the young guy anymore.
Gotta be late 20s. He's 29. So, yeah, he's got a couple more years, and that's it probably. But like I said, I don't know if that's the right way to go here. And then the other guy is the guy, again, you guys have mentioned in the comments already, Chris Olave. Had 2 great years in New Orleans to start his career off. Now in the last year and a quarter, he's played in 12 games, had a 585 yards in those 12 games. Definitely, not played to his old self with the injury.
Listen, we talked about asterisks. Spencer, he said Scott Rather. It's who's throwing to him. That offense has been. We thought our offense was bad. The Saints have been terrible.
I don't disagree on that, but I feel like the Giants are a walking asterisk.
Yeah, so you can put a lot of asterisk. Could be better with a better team. Goes to a good team. Listen, I was surprised Dallas didn't go after Olave this offseason. That's like a home he would go to and actually kind of look good at. And I don't want to admit that as a Giants fan, but that's a move they would do.
I feel like the Saints are trying to build him up first. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're trying to do, and for him to be
rather throw it to him.
I get
they
it.
They try to build him up and let him throw the ball in some kind of crazy college wildcat thing against the Bills.
And he actually got catch issues as well. He's got a lot of drops already this year. His yard per target is down as well, but not crazily. So I mean, I'm looking at all the stats here; they're not insane here. I just think that, like I said, I feel like this is definitely his stuff gone down. And I just don't know what you're going to do with the guy that you're going to have to pay one more year after this, because he is signed through 26, when you already have good money invested into that position, and you have one of your own becoming a free agent, and the guy is literally dropped from a career average of 13 yards per reception down to 7.
Yeah, and he had some quarterback play. No, that's Rattler.
Did he have it last year? Who was his quarterback last year? Spencer Rattler. But last year, he didn't have that. Last year, if you go to his yards per reception, it was 12.5 last year, pretty much on his average.
Okay, we're still through.
He's also got a new offensive scheme entirely as the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, there's plenty of times for that to change, Drew.
If
you're looking at the two, listen, if we're looking at the two wide receivers, I would take Olave over Myers.
So I would say this: Olave higher ceiling, lower floor than the two. And neither one of them is wrong to say, by the way, just how much you want to gamble. Now, in this scenario here, because you're trying to replace the number one, you would probably want to go ahead and get somebody who has the potential to operate as the number one. And I can get that. But this guy also has a cap number next year of $15.5 million. And it's all base salary.
Which means goodbye, Wan'Dale, which I don't think I'm okay with.
It's not just goodbye, Wan'Dale. It's goodbye like you already signed a free agent before you even actually got to free agency. Like you're adding a decent contract, granted for 1 year only next year, but you're still doing it for a guy who's on a downswing from what he was a couple of years ago.
I think it's a little fair to say downswing just yet in the season. Just yet, because you're taking 17 games and taking stats off of 4.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm going the last year and a half, or year and a quarter, whatever the hell you want to call it. 12 games, 585 yards. That's where he's at for the last 2 seasons combined, including this one. So even the touchdowns are down, just 2 touchdowns.
Like if you look at the Saints offense, the whole Saints offense, the touchdowns are down.
I just don't know if he's there yet. I just don't, and it's a gamble. And don't get me wrong, for a team that's desperate for a receiver, that gamble's worthwhile. I don't want to gamble, especially when they give up draft picks for it, give up cap space to do it. For a guy we're borrowing basically for this year and next.
So at the end of the day, this is my thought process. It's not worth it. Like, listen, if you're talking about if we're potentially going to the playoffs, possibly going to thinking a little higher than that. Yeah, I would take the gamble.
So,
but we're not going to the playoffs. Like, let's be real. Like, this probably gonna happen. So, we're in the middle of rebuilding. Why would you want to waste your cap on that?
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Especially, Nabors is a young guy.
Yep.
Which they heal fast with ACLs compared to some of those older folk out there.
Yeah.
Granted, he's not going to look the same. Look at Wan'Dale a couple years ago. Towards ACL, came back, didn't quite look the same, and he's starting to come too. Is he our number one? No. So he's going to get those numbers, but he'll probably get the same amount of numbers if he had Nabors there as well. Or similar to, because he's not going to be the number one targeted receiver, which means Nabors are going to be double coverage, which Wan'Dale's going to be more open. Now he's going to be targeted more by defenses.
Yeah. Now, here's another interesting wrinkle to the Olave potential. Who do we play this week?
The Saints.
Do you think the Saints are going to possibly trade us Chris Olave as we're about to play them? Like, I'm being honest. Like, if you were Mickey Loomis, I think is the GM's name there, would you be like, yeah, hey, I'm about to play the Giants. Oh, what's this phone call here? Let me see. Oh, is this you, Joe Shea? Do you want Chris Olave? Right before we're about to play you? Here you go. Take him. Like, no.
No, but listen. Do we need a new receiver to play the Saints to make an outcome a difference in this game? Maybe.
But that's where I'm kind of getting at.
But you're not telling me when they're in the same city, they're gonna have a conversation possibly down the road, like, hey, you know what? Let's make a trade.
I'm just saying, play the game and then see what happens. And then if you decide after a couple weeks you need Olave before the trade deadline hits, then maybe you go for it, depending on what you got to give up.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen craziness out of Olave where I'm like, oh, I got to get this guy. Like that's just where I'm at. Let's get on to the next one here. So we got DJ Shark, who I can't believe is still being talked about. This kid was like, he's fast. Be very clear. He is as fast as they come. And he's put up some production. He's averaged 848 yards per season. Say per 17 games, not per season, per 17 games between 19 to 23. So you got a 5-year stretch, but he was often battling injuries. Just 31 yards in 7 games last year with the Chargers. So yeah, I would go no there.
Yeah,
I would go no.
Let's go to Texas and go to El Paso.
Tyler Boyd. Another guy had a good past, but after 8 years in Cincinnati, he followed the OC from Cincinnati over to Tennessee when he became the head coach there. Last year, 39 catches, 390 yards. His yards per game went down from 50 yards per game with the Bengals for his career there to 24.4 last year. That's bad. And the same OC. The difference is he was a third wide receiver in Cincinnati. He was now the guy in Tennessee. So yeah, I'm good. I don't need that.
Pass.
Nelson Aguilar. Solid wide receiver veteran. 32 years old though.
Solid.
So yeah, I listen. 14 catches, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns to the Ravens last year. I'm good. We can get that with a young player.
Listen, the only reason Giants fans know this guy's name is when he played with Philly, he just smoked us that one game.
Yeah,
and listen, like he also dropped a pass. It's just the biggest thing.
I see you guys in the comments like this is the scrap heap. Don't get me wrong, but it's the end of September. That's what's left is scrap heap. None of these guys are going to replace Nabors. Let's be very clear on this. It's going to have to be a collective. It's going to have to be. Next up, Robert Woods. Another solid vet. 33 years old, though. Last season with the Texans, 20 catches, 203 yards. Again, no.
Yeah. Listen, he was great back in the day. But back in his day, he used to walk to school uphill both ways.
In my day. Allen Robinson, another guy that I've heard people bring up again because he was with the Giants last year in camp for a while. Last year, he got cut by us, signed with the Lions, 3 catches, 30 yards. 32 years old. I'm good. I'm passing that. Yeah. Okay, here's the more serious names. There are 2 names that I would want us to look at. First off, Isaiah Hodgins. Bringing back the Hodgins. So 3 reasons I really like having Hodgins back. 1, he's going to be cheap. Like, we're not going to be paying a ton of money to Hodgins. Let's be very frank. You're going to grab him.
He's also not going to be there 1.
That's where he's at right now. I see a Jay there with the comment. He is a Steeler, but he's on the practice squads. You can pluck him. So he's going to be cheap. He knows the playbook because he's been here. And on top of that, he also fits the bill, what I said with Lil'Jordan Humphreys, a bigger receiver, which we really don't have. Hodgins was good in the end zone. That's where he really was his best, I felt like. And that's what we're missing. Now, do I expect him to go all pro and actually, replace, Malik Nabors? No. And is it possible that if we go to pick up Hodgins, that maybe the Steelers go ahead and pick him up permanently? They did call him up for the game in Dublin last week. He was on the field, but he was a practice squad call up, like we've been doing with Elijah Garcia and people like that. So he's still not technically on the active roster. So he is a guy we can go ahead and pick up. The last one. We've talked about this guy before. And we brought him in for a visit this offseason. That's Gabe Davis. Now, he's the one that I would be really curious about. He's still just 26 years old, coming off an injury last year. He's right now on the practice squad for the Buffalo Bills. Last year for the Jags, 20 catches, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns. During his time with Buffalo, the last 2 years before he went and signed with Jacksonville, averaged 791 yards receiving per year the last 2 years. That's to me is it interesting, an interesting option, depending on how healthy he is. But again, you got to question, why is he on a practice squad? Why is he not an active roster? But you got some pedigree. You also got some work with Daboll at that point there. You got the fact that you do have some knowledge there. As Jay says, Davis is on the Bills, dude. He's on the practice squad. Again, you're talking Isaiah Hodgins, Gabe Davis, both are on practice squads right now. Both are able to be plucked. So, again, can a team block us? Yes. I actually say no, we're going to give you a spot. And Deb says, so you want other teams' practice squads instead of our own? Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The guys we have in the practice squad aren't exactly guys that I have much confidence in. Lil'Jordan Humphreys, we were upset about point blank with the signing. Not like, oh my God, insanely, upset about it. But he's not a good player. So, again, I don't expect to get a great player in here either. But I think we can do better than Lil'Jordan Humphreys. In a pinch, whatever. Let's take him, I guess, because he fits the needs.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, unless you get one of these guys at veteran minimum, dirt cheap, where you bring him up, I think you block from your practice squad. Like, I think the best player that you could promote from this position, even with all these free agents that we just talked about, or possibilities to bring over here, unless you're willing to do some kind of big trade, is you have Wan'Dale and Slayton step up. You get some more scheme in here. They're going to have to, because at the end of the day, like, what are we going to do? We're going to send like Russell somewhere and hopefully pick up a wide 3 to be our wide 1 with maybe a couple trades, right? Like, no, this is like crazy talk. Like, I saw like some people talk about like, oh, we should send Russ to Cincinnati and pick up Hodgins. Like, in what world do you think we get
Hodgins?
We get number 2. Not Hodgins, Higgins.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, if we're not giving up Higgins first off.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's crazy talk.
I mean, listen, the crazy thing about crazy talk, Jalen Hyatt is technically our third receiver right now. That's the crazy talk. And I honestly, what I think the Giants are going to do is I think they're going to take this week and they're going to bring guys in potentially for some workouts that are available, guys that aren't on practice squads, because you can't do those. But I think what that's going to do is they're going to bring in some guys. And then they're going to probably make a call up this week. I think they're going to kind of put it on the back burner and see how this week goes. Because it's the Saints. It's the Saints. And I think Lil'Jordan Humphreys is the guy they'll call up personally. We'll see. Well, a lot can happen. A lot can happen, because keep in mind, we've talked about it. And where's the comment I saw you put up, Jay, here about desperation? Here we go. Yes, desperation is a stinky cologne talking to Deb there. But listen, there's desperation all across this Giants team. Brian Daboll's fighting for his job. There's reports point blank that if they lost to the Chargers, he was gone. Now, do I think that's accurate? I don't know. I'm not in the meetings there. It's just one guy personally that I've really heard saying that, Pat Leonard. But Pat Leonard, every so often, says things that nobody else is saying, and he's right. Don't think that Joe Shane's trying to validate his job right now, too, as well. He surely is. So, like I said, I do think that you're going to see this week it kind of put in the back burner. And that's what I think. Lil'Jordan Humphrey goes in. We're going to have to spread the ball out a little more. I think the biggest thing I want to see a difference on, and this is part that really scares me, let me be honest, to a certain degree, because of the dropsies, oopsies, whatsies this year so far.
Whoopsie.
But Theo Johnson's going to have to be the guy. Like, he's had to be the guy really to step up and be the receiver that we think he can be as a tight end. Because if you can have him do that, that takes some of the pressure off the receivers. Again, we don't have great deep depth receivers, guys. And guys aren't going to be coming out of thin air to go play for the Giants.
Yeah.
10-year-old version to go of OBJ is not coming out the tunnel, guys. I mean, to be very frank, what I would just do at this point is I'd cut my loss with Hyatt, just let him go, and bring up guys that I think can actually contribute. I mean, at this point, it's a waste of space.
It really is part of a waste of 53-man roster if you're not going to let them out there and play or be a healthy scratch. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys that we could talk about besides Jordan Humphrey. I see the comment here from Davis about Juice Wells. Obviously, he played with him at Ole Miss. Dalen Cambry actually looked good at times in preseason as well, even though he was mostly a special teamer guy. So I don't know. I feel like there's no perfect answer to how do you replace a guy like Malik Nabors. You can't. Yeah. You point.
Who's a top 5 receiver at that point of when it happened. So.
Yeah. But what you can try to do is try to get back as much as you can with collectively. Bring in receivers you actually want to play. Again, drop Jalen Hyatt. I'm saying it point blank. Drop Jalen Hyatt. I'm so done. It's not even funny. He was in 29 snaps, by the way, yesterday. Didn't get a single ball thrown his way. And it's not Jackson Dart's fault. He's not open. He can't get open. So I would drop him immediately. Go ahead and pick up, a couple receivers at that point that actually can do something.
That one trick is not tricking.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's more than speed, guys. It's more than speed.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.